This is a PTR 308. It is an HK93 clone. So that locks the bolt open. When we found out the news of the shooting in Las Vegas, I mean, it's extremely frustrating. It's another grave misusage of firearms. It's a terrible tragedy, and we pray for all the families up there. So bump fire stocks typically retail in the $150 to $200 range. Installation, they say, is user installed. I mean, you don't need to be a licensed gunsmith or a professional gunsmith to get these installed. What a bump stock is, there's two primary companies that make slide fire. You mentioned Fostech is another company that makes reciprocating stocks. And basically there's an inner part to the stock. The inner part is what actually gets mounted to the firearm, and the stock and the pistol grip reciprocate back and forth. This internal reciprocating part is the part that gets mounted to the firearm. To operate, instead of putting your finger on the trigger as you normally would and pulling the trigger, you put your finger all the way through the trigger guard, and with your support hand, as you pull the gun forward, it actually pulls the trigger into your finger. You keep your finger stationary. During the recoil of the firearm, it comes back, resetting the trigger, and through the steady pressure of your support hand, it pulls the trigger back into your finger again, causing the repetitive firing. So it is only firing one round per trigger pull, is just allowing the firearm to reciprocate back and forth, getting repetitive trigger pulls. Instead of pulling the trigger with your finger, you actually place your finger all the way through the trigger guard and place it on the off side of the grip. So in essence, as you shoulder the firearm, you push it forward, and actually you're pulling the trigger into your finger rather than pulling the trigger with your finger. So as the gun fires, it recoils, okay? It recoils back, and then you keep a steady pressure on it and then pull the trigger back into your finger again, and that causes the repetitive firing. So to install a slide fire stock, basically you take the stock off the firearm, you take the screw out of the pistol grip and replace it, put this up inside of here, replacing the grip with that, and then the stock slides over. Oh, here we go. The stock slides over to give you, once it's all installed, the grip comes up to this position right here, and that's installed. The biggest misunderstanding about these bump stocks is that it turns your semi-automatic rifle into a machine gun. That is the biggest misunderstanding.
They do not.
They do not. They do not turn, a bump stock does not turn your normal semi-automatic rifle into a machine gun, and that is the biggest misunderstanding with these.